everybody, welcome back and thank you very much for watching. Today's video I'm going to be talking about something which I have spent a lot of time thinking about recently, and that is how clothes make me feel and how that influences why I like certain things. For the past few months, sort of like the last 6 months of this year I suppose, I haven't fallen out of love of shopping, but I've shopped in a really different way. And it's in a way that's a lot less excessive, definitely. And because of my job, and I talk about this in my vlogs, and because I get sent things, I still acquire a lot of new clothes, but I don't spend as much time online shopping. A part of me really doesn't enjoy shopping that much anymore as I used to. And I think it's partly because it felt like it was just endless excess, and probably more so because I feel like I've got to a point where I really knew what I liked and had a really good wardrobe of things that I could put together, which is why you are all used to me wearing the same things lots and lots and lots, which is actually how most of you guys will work with your wardrobe as well. Like, it's unrealistic to have new things all of the time. And even though I do have new things a lot of the time, I still have my favourites that I go back to. And that made me think about why are those things my favourites? How do those clothes make me feel? A lot of the pieces I'm going to show and the outfits will be variations of what you've seen before. I do think it's really normal to have a uniform, as it were, that you go back to. And mine does change. I do experiment with things every now and then, but I mostly want to talk about why I like these clothes in terms of how they make me feel. Which is not something I've ever really talked about before on my channel. So enough rambling, we're going to get straight into it, to perhaps the most obvious piece, the piece that I relate to being the most me, which is an oversized long line blazer. So I have a few now in my collection, but I've got my two favourites here, which are this wool Under the Stories one, which is pinstriped, for a high street option, which is flipping fantastic, I love it. And then for a much more premium option, my Stella McCartney Prince of Wales checked blazer. But yeah, I wear these all the time, mostly because they're really flattering to my body type. I'm quite short-bodied and long-legged, so a long line blazer balances that out a little bit. I'm really into the androgyny of it, but there's something really powerful about how they look. Definitely that androgynous aspect I really like. I think it has an understated coolness to it, but I can just be wearing jeans and a t-shirt or jeans and a jumper at this time of year and throw on one of these blazers and feel so much more put together, so much more confident. If I was going for a meeting, I'd feel so much more professional. If I'm going out for dinner, I feel just like I look so much better and therefore more confident. And I think it just comes down to what great tailoring can do with its associations with workwear. And like, I'm sure we've all been inspired at certain points by watching some sort of TV drama where there's this absolute woman girl boss strutting around the office in a killer two-piece suit. And we do make associations with outfits to how those powerful feelings are. I think that's what blazers do for me. Aside from being really flattering, they just like make me feel like I can really take stuff on, which maybe that sounds over dramatic, but I honestly reach for a long line blazer almost every single day and just layer up underneath as it gets colder and colder. They're really the absolute key pieces of my wardrobe. I wouldn't be without them whatsoever. So that was the first piece I wanted to talk about. And then a second thing is that they're also really comfortable, and as I've gotten older, being comfortable in my style, as in physically comfortable, is become absolute key. Like, I used to totter around in heels I couldn't really walk in. You know, if you're wearing something tight, there's that awful feeling like when you've got to feel like you've got to pull your tummy in the whole time. Stuff like that I'm not here to do anymore. Like, I want to wear things that I'm comfortable in, and therefore they're going to look so much better. And footwear is it's obviously the first place that you can go wrong for comfort, I think. And it's again going to be no surprise that for me, the ultimate shoe is the loafer. These are the newest pair that I have, which are from Celine. Obsessed with them. I've already worn them so much. They're wearing in beautifully. And I also have 3 pairs of the Gucci loafer, which are probably still, in my opinion, the best flat shoe that you can possibly go and buy. I'll never tire of them. I will never not recommend them to people. But these, again, they have a certain androgyny, which I'm massively drawn to. But they're so comfortable, so stylish, and so smart that they finish an outfit without me being ever so slightly compromising the level of comfort. All of these 4 pairs are insanely comfortable shoes. They look amazing with denim. You can wear them with workwear, you can wear them on an evening. Like me, if you're quite tall, you don't always necessarily want to wear heels, although I would hasten to add that if you are tall, Don't ever feel like you can't wear heels, just go for it. And as long as you look confident with it, then it's always going to look absolutely amazing. But some days, like when I live in London, I tend to walk out to dinner most of the time, so that's why I wear flats more than ever at the moment. And they just like, oh, they're just the best shoe. Like, I feel so good in these shoes. Just so many reasons to love them, and the comfort factor of them just makes them so much easier to wear. And I think what you're going to notice with all these pieces is that I could actually throw all of the items that I'm mentioning in this video together and make a really good outfit, which goes back to what I was saying about being in a place where I'm really happy with my wardrobe and the way that everything's working together. Okay, so handbags. For the most part, I'm not really, this is what testing basics has taught me. I'm not really a massive advocate for spending, like, going for designer stuff just because of the label. And testing basics has taught me that so often you're obviously just paying for that label. The one category where I feel differently about it, and the one category where I am really shallow with it, is handbags. And for some reason, I love a designer handbag. I wear one every single day. This is bad, but I wouldn't necessarily go and get a handbag from Topshop. There's something about having a branded handbag that I like, and it's shallow. There's no other way to describe it other than it being shallow. Like, my mum isn't into this kind of thing at all, and they're obscenely expensive, and I've grown a collection over many years. I don't tend to like handbags that often, so I don't buy them that often. Not just, obviously they're so expensive, but I don't fall in love with them enough that often to buy them. But I wanted to talk about the most recent one that I've got, which is the Loewe Hammock bag. I had a voucher from Farfetch, which I put towards this, and then put the remainder from my own money. And it's in a tan shade, and I love the fact it's two-toned, so it's like a darker flat leather here and then the grain leather throughout with gold hardware. It opens up like this, so it really fits a lot of stuff in. I mean, I've got like a ton of receipts in there at the moment. You can also wear it top handle like that, which is when it looks like the hammock shape, crossbody, and on the shoulder with this strap, which is adjustable. I've said before that I really like it when handbags have lots of different options of ways to wear it, especially when they're this expensive. The matte leather, the flat leather has marked a little bit, but nothing too much, and the grained leather is just not going to mark at all. It never ever will. And it's a beautiful soft leather, and just a beautiful bag. Loewe is probably my favourite designer bag brand. But for me, I was trying to think about why is that the one area that I'm like uncompromisingly shallow on, in the fact that I know, and this is, I'm just being completely honest with you here, I don't know if you guys feel the same, but if I had an outfit and put on a Topshop handbag versus the Loewe handbag, even if they were really similar, I'm going to feel better wearing the Loewe one. And I just can't quite place on what it is. I think it's because they're really luxurious, and I also would like to add that I don't like heavily branded bags, so it's not like I'm going around with like Chanel clasps everywhere or Louis Vuitton monograms everywhere. That's not my personal cup of tea at all. So they're like an understated luxury, so it's not even doing it for other people. I don't like to wear them so that other people know that I've got a designer bag. It's something that is very personal to me. And I was trying to think, like, what is it? Why do I feel that way about them? And there's just something that the way they pull an outfit together, excuse me, and something generally about having luxury accessories that seems to elevate, in my mind, seems to elevate a high street outfit. And really it probably doesn't. Like, I could probably find some amazing bags on the high street that would complement and finish an outfit just as well. But there's something about having that designer brand with it. And please let me know in the comments if you guys feel the same. I think people will, or if you think this is ridiculous. I also think people will think that. Yeah, on from there, from strange designer handbag things, I was going to talk a little bit about dressing sexily, which is an interesting topic. I think it's a topic which is very tied in with your personal body confidence and what makes you feel sexy, what like your favourite assets are. But for me, it's something that I've been thinking about more and more as I get older, and as I've like been more aware of my body in the sense that I've exercised in this past year is when I've really gotten into exercise, try to eat healthy, really notice a difference in myself and my mood when I've stopped doing both of those things. So that sort of mindfulness of your body has creeped into the way that I'm dressing as well, and thinking more about what works for my body if I want to feel sexy in something. And for me, it's never going to be about tight fitting, really low cut, really short things. All of those elements play a part in it, but not together, because for me, I'm going to feel uncomfortable in that. There's definitely, I keep saying the word androgyny, but there's something about that which I always find really sexy, which is why shirts are one of my favourite things to dress up with. This black silk one from Reformation is one of the best things I've bought this entire year. It's backless and I love to wear it with lots of buttons undone and go braless with it. It's also like when you tuck it in, you're not going to like flash either, so you're keeping your dignity intact too. But it's just so cool. I love the backless detail of it, because obviously when people first see you they don't realise, and you can just put your jacket over and no one's going to realise. It also means I can style it in lots of different ways. But this tucked into some really good fitting jeans. It's such a good look. I think I've packed this shirt on every single trip I've gone on since I've had it. I bought this in May in Los Angeles. And it's come away with me every single time since, because it's so easy to throw on for dinner, and I just feel consistently really good in it. And I think it's because the silk luxe fabric really helps as well. I love the fact it's black, but it's not in your face sexy at all. It's just like, oh, I feel good in this, and that's going to show that I feel good in it. And the same applies for a white shirt, a crisp cotton white shirt. This is my favourite one I've ever had. It's from Under the Stories. They still do it. If you're in the market for a white shirt, just go buy this one. That's honestly the best. The perfect oversized fit without being completely drowning and unflattering. You have to iron it. I obviously clearly have not ironed it because I hate ironing, but they do need ironing, unfortunately. But again, this worn undone with like some gold necklaces. Definitely go for like a bit of a lacy bra as well if you wanted to. Is such a look. And my favourite thing about this look is when you wear it with something with a tight waist, like some tailored pants or your favourite high-waisted jeans. So it cinches you in, and then the fabric just billows, the cotton of the shirt billows over the top of the waistband of the jeans, and it just, oh, it's just like a silhouette that I never tire of. When I see it online, like on Tumblr and Pinterest, I'm like, I love that look so much, and it's such a subtle detail. But yeah, with your sleeves rolled up and like the buttons undone, it's just effortlessly cool, and that I think to me is a feeling that is very closely linked to feeling sexy. It has to come from a effortless way. But yeah, a cotton white shirt. I also really want to go and get some like men's dress shirts from Gap or TM Lewin or something like that, when you get the really big collars and the really big cuffs. I think that's such a look. And then the final thing, and we're going to stick on the topic of sexiness here because it is something that I think is an interesting one to explore, is over-the-knee boots. And now I've had over-the-knee boots in my wardrobe for a long time, and then I wear them every single winter basically, but I often tend to wear them from a practical sense, in that if you want to wear heels and it's absolutely bloody freezing, it's really good to stick on a pair of skinny jeans, some over-the-knee boots, your long line blazer, your favourite white shirt. Do you see what I mean about all these pieces making a really good outfit together? And then it's practical because you're actually kept warm as well. Equally, if you like to keep your dresses on rotation and your skirts during the winter, they work really well for that. But recently, so the Stuart Weitzman Highland are the ones I've had for quite a while. They're flipping expensive. I was sent these, I didn't spend that much money on them. I think that I would spend that much money on them though, because they're kind of shoe that once you've bought them once, you're going to have them forever. Like there's not many, these are really classic styles, there's not many updates to be had with them, if that makes sense. So I think you could spend this much once on a quality pair and not have to repurchase them time and time again. But I also recently got a really different pair, which are from Under the Stories, which are these really wide leather ones. I'm obsessed with them. I love the bagginess of them. When I first got them, I was terrified of how to style them. It took me a really long time, lots of experimenting to get to grips with how to wear these. Love the pointed toe, love the really straight heel, everything like that. But yeah, they look great with, if you go on my Instagram, I wore them recently with a mini skirt, a black knit and a blazer again. They look great with bare legs, and it's just showing that little flash of thigh. But for these ones, the bagginess of them is so flipping unflattering. It's kind of like, they're just like pirate-esque, you know? And it really, really works with just showing that bit of thigh with the baggy boot underneath, and it's just a bit interesting and a bit of a different silhouette. But equally, with some skinny jeans again, this is just what I was saying about how they're really easy to wear at this time of year, and a nice oversized shirt or whatever, and then a coat. I'm refraining from saying the word long line blazer again, but a coat or a leather jacket or whatever you've got, they just work, like, and they're different, and they're really flipping cool. Yeah, over-the-knee boots. I'm definitely going to be wearing mine a lot throughout the winter. They tend to be really easy to walk in as well, because your foot is very well supported by obviously how much material there is. So yeah, I've talked a lot through this video. It's been like, as I said at the beginning, it's something that I've been thinking about, and it's still an ongoing thought process, and one I want to explore a bit more about how clothes make you feel and why they make you feel that way. Because sometimes they can make you feel a certain way because you wore that piece at a certain time in your life, or you wear it on a certain night out where something happened and it's always going to remind you of that. So I think there's a lot to be explored about it, and I think it's a really interesting way to fall in love with things you have already in your wardrobe and find good combinations in your wardrobe, rather than feeling like you constantly need to update it when you understand what clothes make you feel like. Does this make any sense? This video has been me having a thought process. I hope you've enjoyed it. Share your thoughts, like tell me what makes you feel sexy, what makes you feel powerful. Like if you were someone who works in an office, what's like your ultimate girl boss outfit? Or if you had an interview to go to, what would you want to wear that you're going to be like, yes, I've got this because my outfit's just making me feel like I've got this completely. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.